Civic education is a class, and this is Civic for Jss2. In our previous class, we look at voters and voters' responsibility. And we look at the responsibility of a voter and the responsibility of those who are to be voted into power. We took part 1 and 2 of that class. Today we are going to look at electoral malpractice, part 1. That means there's going to be part 2 to this class. The objective of this class is 2. We want to explain what electoral malpractice is, and we will list and explain some forms of electoral malpractice that is prevalent in our society. What is electoral malpractice? It's just like we said, examination malpractice. That is to say, those who cheat or do unwholesome activities during exam period. Things that they are not supposed to do, they do it during exam period. That's examination malpractice. Now let's come to electoral malpractice. Things people do during election that is against the Electoral Act, or that is against the carrying out of election. That's a malpractice. So anything people do that is against the rules and regulation governing election, it's electoral malpractice. A simple definition or a simple explanation is this. This is the interference or manipulation of electoral process by the Electoral Commission or political parties that are involved in the election, or candidates that come for the election. So malpractice can come in different forms. It can come from the hand of the electoral commissions or electoral officers. It can come from political parties that are part of the election process. It can equally come from candidate voters who come to the area to vote, or hired individuals who come within the voting premises. An example of these can include fake ballot papers, manipulation of votes. We will look at that in the forms of malpractice. That's why I mentioned just few. So when we look at malpractice, we are talking about things that are not supposed to be done in an election that is being done in the election. That's malpractice. So that is for that objective. List and discuss forms of electoral malpractice. What are some forms of electoral malpractice? I list 7 here. We are going to take it one at a time. 1. Using fake ballot papers printed illegally by contesting parties. Contesting parties print ballot paper that are illegal. That is not the one they are supposed to use, but it has been printed illegally. 2. Artificial scarcity of electoral materials. People are waiting on the electoral ground, but then they are not given such materials. Then 3. Falsification of figures. Falsification of figures and results by returning officers, either because they have been bribed or whatever. Then 4. Thuggery and intimidation of political opponents. Thuggery and intimidation of political opponents. They bring in thugs. They bring in hoodlums. They bring in touts to disturb the election so that they can intimidate people, scare people away, fear. They grab those in the polling units. Financial inducement and other corrupt practices. They offer people money in order for them to vote for them. That's to say, buying the vote of people. You didn't intend to vote for a particular person, but because you have been offered money and the financial benefit is great, the individual wants to vote for that candidate. Fake manifestos. Fake manifestos. People come out and tell you, I want to do this, I want to do this. At the end of the day, they will not fulfill their manifesto. They mislead the general public, telling them, promising them what they cannot fulfill. When they come into power, they do little or nothing about what they have manifested to the general public. So they fake it. They just tell it to lure people, like a lure, like a snare, like a trap, to bring people in and leave them in the dark. Partisanship of the electoral body. They are supposed to be, the electoral bodies are supposed to be neutral, supporting who they want to, but being neutral, not to be bribed. So at the end of the day, the individual will want to do what? Succumb to the bribery or financial benefits that has been given. And so we look at these areas as forms of malpractice that can happen using fake ballot paper, artificial scarcity of electoral material, falsification of figures, thuggery and intimidation, financial inducements, fake manifestos, and partisanship. These are electoral malpractice that can happen in an election. We've covered the two objectives for the class. Watch and rewatch so that you understand what the class is. Remember, I've talked about what electoral malpractice is and we've seen the form of it. It was my pleasure being here. Come along as we take part 2 of this class. I will see you in our next class.